and welcome to Yarns and Yarns, episode number 1. My name is Shay Ford. I go by Shay McIntosh Ford as an author, and I will be talking all about yarns as in yarn fabrics, yarn fibers, and yarns as in stories. Bear with me, I've never done anything like this ever, and I haven't told my husband I'm doing it, so he has no idea, and I don't want him to know right now, but it's a little tricky because he works from home, as do I. I'm a stay-at-home mom at the moment, but we have about a floor of house between us. I'm in the basement and he's on the second floor. So if I hear him come down the stairs, I'm gonna kind of just hit pause. Anyway, but to be honest, I sometimes when I get excited about doing something, I jump in wholeheartedly, and sometimes some things get left to the side. So he has a good reason to be worried, but I'm gonna do my best to keep this low key in my life. But I think I'm gonna have fun with it. And that's the whole reason to do it. So I think I'm ready. I have my tea, but I don't have my favorite cup. I actually have 6 favorite cups because I like teacups with saucers, matching saucers. I have a blue willow set, and they are all currently in the dishwasher at the moment. So I'm drinking out of my big Busch Gardens mug that we got when I lived in Florida. And the only problem with a big mug with hot tea is that it turns cold if you fill the mug all the way up. So I have to remember to fill it up just a little bit so it stays hot. And I like my tea black. I like my coffee black, although sometimes I'll put a little butter in it because I have a tendency to get dizzy if I don't have enough salt in my diet, so I try to find ways to put salt in my food. The big thing about that is but I was inspired. I stumbled across a fabulous blogger, crocheter, all around great person. Her name is Lee Mack. She's at totally.net, and I'll link below for that. She does these fabulous portraits. They're all crochet, and she does them like one little bit at a time. I'd never heard of doing that before, but so I got inspired. I went on her website. I was looking for Harry Potter things to crochet. I'm getting ready to start my first knitted sweater. I've made crochet sweaters before, but I'm gonna do a Weasley sweater soon. But anyway, she had a little sample because I had to try it out, but I didn't know if I was gonna like it. It's this little cute Union Jack, and I did mine a little differently. She cuts and ties at every color change. It's basically she crochets from the bottom up. I couldn't get the tension right every time I cut. I could not get the yarn to be close enough to the piece. So I did the carryover method, and I'm going to make another one because of course my 8-year-old saw it and he's like, oh, can you make me one too? So I'm going to try it again, because when I did the carryover method, I carried it over within the stitches and it ended up being very hard. I mean, it's cute and I love it, but it's hard and it's almost like a coaster. So I'm going to try it again, but on the back, I'm going to do the carryovers in the back. So it's not going to be, almost the same on both sides. The other thing I learned about the carryover method is to at least do one extra stitch. Because here you could see I carried over at the edge at the very end, and you can see that from the other side. So I did an extra stitch here so that I could carry it over and it kind of hid it in the back. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to do, because I'm so inspired to do some more, I'm going to do the Hogwarts crest and some of the, after I do another one of these, just, to try it out, for my son. I'm going to do the Hogwarts crest and the different house crests, and yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So, but the thing that I'm working on right now, and I am hoping to get this done by the time I pick up my boys from school. My younger son is also in Scouts, and right now he's a Bear Scout. Oh, I forgot to bring the, I'll put it on the little picture on the side. The Bear Scout colors are the light blue and the dark blue, and we have moved from Florida to Colorado. We've only been here this will be our second winter, and I love winter. I absolutely adore it. I grew up in Florida, always hated it. I do not tolerate heat very well. But we get cold very easily, so I have made a double-sided, I stitched it in the round, a double-sided scarf. I had to kind of finagle this one. He wanted cables, so this is my very first cabling project. I've never done cables before, and I always wanted to try it, so I figured this would be a great way to learn how to do cables. But I learned something the hard way. I bought a very cheap plastic cabling needle, and it broke halfway through. So this is a kind of a longish scarf, and I'm almost done. I'm done with all the cabling now, but the cabling needle broke, and I went to Walmart looking for a metal one so it would last a little bit longer, and I could not find one except in a learn to knit kit, which I already know how to knit, more or less, and I didn't need to buy that whole kit, but I did find a knitting accessory kit, and I thought that I could use these little guys as cabling needles, just one really. But I learned the hard way that once you slip the stitches, when you're cabling, once you slip the stitches on one way, you have to use the second one to slip them onto another one so that you can knit them off in the right order. Because if you don't knit them off in the right order, you end up with a cable that looks like that, a twisted cable. And I could have fixed it, but this was toward the end of the scarf, and I was starting to get really tired of making it. There's so many other things I want to make, so I just left it. So, lesson learned. Don't stitch off your cabling stitches the wrong way, because they will come out twisted. This is the bottom of the scarf, and I'm going to do this again on the other side. This is about 30 knit stitches, and then I designed this fleur-de-lis for the emblem for the Scouts, and so it's going to be on the other side of the scarf too, with all the fringe at the bottom. And because I couldn't find anything Scoutish for him, so I found a cabled scarf pattern, and I duplicated just the right side of the cable and made it in the round. So that's that. And he's going to be selling popcorn tonight at the grocery store with some of his other Scout friends. So hopefully I can have it done by tonight. I thought I'd show you what I did to make the pattern. I took some graph paper, and I just sort of made this little fleur-de-lis pattern on it. And that's what's on the end of the scarf. I did that for, when you look at the pictures in the intro of the show, my sons are obsessed with cars right now. Charlie, the youngest there, he loves Dodge Rams. We'll be driving in the car, and we'll be talking about all kinds of stuff. He'll be in the middle of a conversation. He'll be talking to me, and he'll interrupt himself to say Dodge Ram, because he sees one on the road. It's the weirdest thing. So I made him a Dodge Ram scarf and hat. And then I made my older son William a Viper SRT-10 scarf and hat. and I had to design all that on a graph paper as well. And I almost forgot. I was needed to show you which yarn that I used. This was a little different. I'd never used this yarn before. It's the Yarn Bee brand yarn, the soft and sleek. I got it because of the low pill fiber on it, and I thought, oh well, it's my 8-year-old, so that might be a good thing for him. I had a little trouble with it in the beginning. I pulled from the middle like I normally would. I usually use Caron Simply Soft, and I pull from the middle, but it was twisting like crazy. It was driving me nuts. But the second ball of yarn that I ended up using, I couldn't get the yarn out of the middle, so I balled it up, and I was looking online for tips on how to keep it from twisting, and so I found this trick, and it still twists, but it's not so bad, so I may go ahead and get this yarn again. But if you take just a big plastic bag, or whatever size you need, you take a plastic bag, and you cut a little, just a little hole in the very bottom and stick your yarn through, it doesn't twist so bad, and when you're pulling the yarn, the ball doesn't, roll away under the table or chair or wherever you're sitting. So that ended up being a nice little trick. And then this hat was something that I did, and I am not going to take it off because I have horrible hat hair right now. As you can see, it's a cute little pumpkin. It's got the little curly vine and everything. I love it. So cute. I saw it. Again, that was something that was inspired by Lee. She linked to the tutorial to crochet this cute little hat. It only took me a day. I love it. I can wear it for Halloween and Thanksgiving. I did this hat to take a break from the scarf because the scarf was taking forever. But I'm going to try to make one hat per week, I want to say. The reason why is I have been losing my hair, unfortunately. Hopefully it's temporary. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a Weasley sweater, and I'm so excited about that. I've knitted I've crocheted a sweater. I'll post a picture. It was when my oldest was, I think, 3. I just decided he was going to be a dinosaur for Halloween that year, and so I crocheted him a green sweater, and I put little green points all the way down, and it was so cute, and I made a little tail, but I don't think that he's going to let me make him another sweater costume for Halloween, although he'd be a lot warmer this year. In the picture that I'm going to post, he has no pants on because it's Florida and it was hot. But I'm torn because this year for Halloween now I fit into a dress that I made when I was in college, and it was a colonial style dress, and it was really pretty. I'll post a picture of that too. But it's going to be too cold to wear here in Colorado for Halloween, so I don't know. I was thinking about making a white hood and some white gloves to go with it that go up to the elbow because it's kind of a short sleeve dress, but I don't think I'm going to have time. Maybe next year. So now I am going to move into the story segment of our show. At the moment, I am listening to several stories. I'm reading and listening. I do that. When I was in college, if I wasn't studying for an exam, if I was finished with my exams, you could find me in my chair, and I would have a stack of books on one side of me, and I'd pick one up, and I'd read a chapter, and I'd put it on the other side, and I'd pick up another book, and I'd read a chapter, and I'd put that one down, and I just did that back and forth until I had them all read. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do that anymore because I'm a mom. But I do read several books at one time, and at the moment I'm rereading The Lord of the Rings, because Tolkien, of course. Love Tolkien. The first time I ever read that book, those books really, I guess he wrote it as one book, but anyway, um, I kept getting confused. I was so glad they made the movies because now I can figure out who Saruman and Sauron are. I always got them mixed up the first time I ever read it. I'm like, how did I mix those guys up? They're obviously two different people, even though they're kind of on the same side. But anyway, so I'm enjoying the reread of that book, and I'm also uh, sort of rereading Emma by Jane Austen. I love Pride and Prejudice. I read Emma a long time ago. It's been a long time. Um, but this is the audio version. It's I got it from Audible. Um, we're doing the free trial right now, but I'm thinking about signing up for it for at least a few months because we need the Harry Potter series in Audible in audio. But I'm enjoying it. It has um, Jane Joanne Frogart from Downton Abbey, and I recognize her voice immediately. And also Emma Thompson, she's the narrator, and I'm actually enjoying it. It's very, very well done. The only problem I'm really having is that every time I listen to it, I keep remembering scenes from the movie Clueless. Um, if you've ever read Emma and watched that movie, you know why. So I always end up rewinding. So rereading Harry Potter. Finally got my boys interested. My oldest son did read up to the fourth book. He got halfway through, and I think it was a little too dark for him at that age, because that's definitely where the series turns dark. And he just lost interest. So he's, but now I got his little brother into it. Now he's 8, and so now Charlie's into listening to Harry Potter. So I'm hoping that when I finish my Weasley sweater, they might ask me for to make them Weasley sweaters. That would be a lot of fun for all of us to wear them. So along with the reading, I'm writing a little bit. I've kind of put it on hold. I have a work in progress. It's I'm gonna say 80% finished, the first draft. I need to finish that last little bit. It's not going to take much. It's just sitting down and doing it. And sometimes that's the hardest thing ever. But I do have an incentive because I did win third place for historical fiction here at our writers conference here in Colorado Springs. I won third place. Oh, here, let me show you. So this is what I got. When I went to the conferences, I got third place. Love it. So my writing is still getting there. It's not as perfect as I'd like it to be, but I guess no writer has can ever get perfect. We're all works in progress anyway. But hopefully maybe next time I enter this contest, I'll win first place if I can ever get better. Hopefully I will. I'm learning every time I write something. I always learn something new, a new way to, put things and organize things. This particular story is inspired by my grandmother. When she was a little girl, her parents owned a restaurant with a bar in it, and her mother was the cook, her father was the owner bartender. And when she was 10, they lifted prohibition. That bar sat empty until then, and all of a sudden they threw a party, and she remembered that, growing up. And I remember her telling me these stories. And unfortunately, her mother was a very bad alcoholic, and she just got worse. And I got to thinking, well, what did my great-grandfather think of all this? What was going through his mind, knowing that his wife had this problem? She tended to be pretty abusive. So I thought, this would make a really good book. So that's what I'm writing right now. And I'm almost done. But I'm also putting it on the back burner because I'm preparing for NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what that is, it's National Novel Writing Month, and it happens every November. And you cannot start your book until November 1st, and you try to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And every time I've tried, I picked up a cold. I always got sick. I had the worst immune system. I am hoping that this year will be different. I'm thinking that because I cured my allergies, I was taking close to 10 pills a day at times, including antibiotics and prednisone. I gained tons of weight on that. And now that I'm better, I feel so much healthier. I'm hoping I can stick out the month of November. I hope. But I've got all kinds of stuff on my plate because now I'm starting a YouTube channel, of course. Because, when you're all full of stuff, you just pile on more, right? So, but this is another historical fiction. I've decided to kind of stick with historical fiction for the long haul, for a while. This one is a World War One novel, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about that one because I don't know. We'll see. I have been planning it out by watching documentaries. So I'm in the middle of almost done watching the third installment of the American Experience, the war, I think it's called the Great War. But anyway, so watching those are giving me lots and lots of ideas, yeah. So hopefully we'll see. Maybe by December I'll have 2 books ready to go. Well, not ready. They'll have to be heavily edited, but especially the NaNoWriMo one. But at least I'll have 2 manuscripts all done by December. So I hope. So we'll see. So I think that's it. Just give me a comment. Let me know. Are you participating in NaNoWriMo? What are your plans? I'd love to hear about your projects, whether you're a crocheter or a knitter. If you're interested in reading any of my current books that I have out, I'll link to those below. Be sure to check those out. They're not physical books right now. They're digital. The first one has been recorded in audio as well. So, and that's it. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.